Hello, my friend, and welcome to Security and Secure, hosted by me, Johnny Seifert. This is a celebrity mental health podcast where I say it's okay to not be okay. And if you have the same match as me, whether you're watching or listening, click the 5-star button, click that subscribe button, and let's keep spreading the word. It's okay to not be okay. Now, let me tell you about my guest today. My guest today, it's actually really good to see her with some clothes on. And I know that sounds a bit weird, but for the past couple of weeks, I've been watching her naked. Now, it is for work purposes, not because I'm stalking her, but she is one of the stars of Dating Naked UK on Paramount Plus, and she's shown that it doesn't really matter what happens on the outside; it's the inside that counts. So, without further ado, I'm delighted to welcome to Security and Secure. It's event host, a nail technician, a reality star. It's Lauren Beschi. Hello, Lauren.
Hi, it's nice to see you.
Well, it's nice to see you with some clothes on.
I know, you might not recognise me.
Do you know what? I didn't. I thought can't see the tattoos anymore.
Can't see the nippers.
Can't see your nipple piercing.
Okay.
It's all right. It's funny. Every girl on there has a nipple piercing, and every boy has covered in tattoos. It's like, what is that? What you need to meet the criteria to go on the show?
Yes, job description.
So I want to know a bit more about you because dating naked's a really interesting concept. However, what happens on the show like that is you don't actually get to know the contestants, and we see a bit of the love stories and we see some storylines, but we don't ever actually get to go right. Here's Lauren. This is why she is the way she is, and I feel like for Dating Naked UK, you are, and I hope it's okay to say that, the main star, especially for the girls. You're the one that's had the drama, the storylines, and actually brought what one would expect from a reality TV show in. So if
Yeah,
it's all right, I want to go back all the way to the beginning and talk to you
yeah.
about your childhood. So Dr.
Mhm.
Challenger's High School, let's talk about how you were there and how you fitted into the school system.
So I was there from 11 to 16, I think I
That's it.
was. Yeah, so that was an all-girls school. So I'm very used to like bitchy environments, which is not a bit of me at all, but they were back in the day, I can't lie. I'm very used to being around like girls all the time. So it was a bit of a challenge. It was a grammar school, so you had to like pass an entrance test to get in, which I actually didn't pass. I got in through appeal because both my sisters had got in there. Obviously hard to compete with them and keep up with them. But yes, that was where I was from 11, year 7 to year 11.
And how did you find being with just girls where it becomes so cliquey and you haven't got boys to kind of distract you and to take you away from that kind of almost nasty? That's all I ever hear about all girls schools. It's just nasty.
Yeah, to be fair, there is I don't know what it is about girls' schools, but there is like a really like just general bitchy atmosphere that just goes around. I think it's like the competition, like you're always comparing yourself to another girl, or especially I think with us where it's like you have to pass an entrance test, it's like who's smarter than the other, who's doing better in school. And you have to block out the noise. I think I've from a young age I've become very, very good at that and just like focus on yourself really. I think I had quite a good group of girls that I was friends with at school. I think we all kind of like supported each other and helped each other. I think it was more of a thing where like girls from the year above hated the girls in the year below. We hated the girls in the year below. It's always like a competition, like that sort of thing. So I think in general, my group of girls were quite good, but there was definitely like competition between girls. I was that girl. I never had any boobs, never had any curves, nothing like that. I was like constantly looking at the other girls, thinking, "Oh my god, I just want what you have." Like to be honest, more than anything, I think my face was like I was never happy with my face. Like I obviously had filler, like Botox, like all sorts of stuff. I had a nose job. I'm very open about that as well. Like I was just deeply insecure about the way I looked. But I think that yeah, it's just comparing yourself to others and then trying to like change who I was to try and fit what everyone else wanted you to be. Whereas now I'm just happy with who I am now, and I feel like I've accepted that, and you just have to crack on with it. And I think that's just how I live now.
So filler and Botox in your face and a nose
Yeah,
job. Then your body, you've got the nipple piercing, you've got the tattoo on your hip, and then you've got one on your
yeah,
bottom as well. I mean,
yeah.
not that I've seen your body. The problem is I have seen your body.
You studied my body.
I've seen everything on your body. It's hard not to.
Yeah,
But
no.
was that a conscious decision to make sure that it was kind of like the Lauren going on to the Lauren to make sure that you were in control of every part of your body, that you've done something yourself to it?
I don't know really. To be fair, the tattoo on my bum, I think that was just like a bit of fun with me and my friends. Love to say we were drunk for that, but we weren't. No, I think definitely the one of my ribs, that was definitely a rebellion thing. I turned 18, I was like, I've always wanted a tattoo, want to express myself. I wanted to be at that age because I think I've been in grammar schools. I was very much like stuck in this regiment thing. I was like, right, F that, all of that. I want to go out and like live my life. So I went to uni, got a tattoo, like just started living like my own life. I think that the one of my ribs definitely was that. And then I've got one on my back as well, but that was just like a nice like, little life quote of me like growing up as a person and stuff. So yeah.
So what is that quote? What does it say?
Dolce far niente. It's an Italian phrase. It's more like a way of life. Like just embrace the everyday, just take it as it comes. Like don't stress about things. Like it's just like an Italian way of life.
Where do you think that comes from? What were you not controlling that you thought I've got to stay in control and actually make sure that I'm kind of being that carpe diem style of stuff of myself?
Yeah, I think to be honest, everything. I think growing up, I had very like I wouldn't say unstable childhood. I think everyone like no one's childhood is perfect. No one's is like it's the way it is. Like I did have a great childhood, but at the same time, like it was my parents' first time of doing it as well. Like they didn't really know what they were doing, and like I grew up in a split family, like never really had much money on one side and then loads of money on the other side. So I could see both sides of life. But then the side that had the money lost it very quickly. So I feel like I then had to adapt my whole lifestyle to not become like that. Like it's really hard as a kid, like looking at my parents and thinking like, I don't want to live like this. Like it was just not the lifestyle that I wanted. So I feel like I then worked really hard to live my own life and then just take each day as it comes and just like don't stress about like little things and just enjoy life and things will come into fruition if you like pull your energy into it. If you love something you do, just keep doing it. And I feel like that's kind of where I then start to relax and enjoy the everyday. And then I feel like stuff start coming towards me, like attracting stuff, just like through trying to be more positive every day. So yeah, kind of like that, I'd say.
So did money make happiness? When you're looking at the two sides, were you resenting the side that didn't have the money and going, I need to be around the money because that's the affluent lifestyle that one should have? Or did you see the ones who didn't have the money were actually living a better life?
No, it was actually the opposite, I think, for me. I think my when my dad didn't have so much money, he showed me so much love in other ways, and I loved that side of him. Whereas my mum showed me like she gave me all the best life, basically. Had a nice house, had a nice went to a nice school, got tuition, like educated really, really well, and all that sort of side. So I saw both sides of the coin, and I was like, I want to live a life just full of love and like being able to enjoy stuff, even if you haven't got money. Like it's not that's not what's important, but it helps. Like you can go to nicer schools, you get a nicer house, like all that sort of stuff. And I am such a homebody, so like to me, I wanted a nice house because I love being at home. So I think I could see both sides of the coin, and I wanted definitely like a balance of life.
How did that affect you then growing up after university? You went to Leeds Beckett University, studying events
Yeah.
where after that you're then going, right, I'm Lauren, I'm 21 years old. I've got the events degree behind me. I know how different people should live and the different ways that people want to put an event on and the money that goes into it versus going, right, this is how I want to live and this is the version of myself I want to have during my 20s.
Yeah, so I think well when I went to uni, again it was just push from school and push from my mum's side, like education, like good career, like all this sort of stuff. Whereas I was like was I much more have my dad's side of the family qualities where I'm like more like creative and that sort of stuff. So I was like, I want to go into hair and beauty and makeup and stuff like that. And my grammar school was like, no. So I think I was just like I went to university because I didn't know what else to do. And then just from being at uni, I was just like this, it's just not really what I enjoy. Like I was just following the stereotype of everyone from my school and I didn't really know what to do. So I was like, I want to live my life and be creative the way that I want to be creative. And I thought if I had a passion for stuff, then it would work out for me because if you enjoy something and you really throw your all into it, you're passionate and you're going to make it a success because you love it. Like if you love what you do, it will become a success. It just might take a little bit longer in certain circumstances, but it is the best thing to do. Like just be passionate about what you're doing, just go for it and throw it, give it your all and it will work. Whereas like the events, I just didn't really have the passion there. Like I'd go for job interviews, I'd just be sat there like I just don't want to do this. They're like, so why do you want to do this job? I'm like, I don't. Like I
That's a
don't.
great
I
answer.
don't
Yeah.
want to do this job. Then I very quickly, like I actually graduated through COVID, so I had to do my dissertation and everything in COVID. And I was just like, I just lost the love for it completely. And I was like, I don't want to do this. So that's then when I went into doing the nails and beauty.
So from that jump, how do you then get into TV then? What was that moment you thought, okay, I've lived a very normal-ish childhood, but I haven't got fame around me. I've got bits of money, but I'm
Mm.
living a very settled life. And
Yeah.
then TV gives me that fame of going, I actually want to have some fame to me now.
Do you know what? I actually never was bothered about the fame. That for me was never a thing. I have been a very independent person my whole life. Like I haven't had a boyfriend for God knows how long. I think I was very much stuck in my own ways. And I always said like I'm about life experiences. Like if an experience is thrown at you, just do it. So when I've obviously watched like Love Island, all that sort of stuff, and I was like, this just looks like a fun life experience. Like not for the fame, not for the money, not for the men, like nothing like that. Like I just thought it'd be a fun life experience. Like I love traveling, love holidays. So I thought a month in Colombia sounds lovely. So I just jumped at the opportunity.
So
I
did
was like,
they
it's
come to
so
you or
different.
did you apply?
No, they approached me. Yeah, approached me on Instagram.
And how did they know what they were looking for? Because you hadn't at that point had that many followers. You know, you're on a
And
couple
I
of thousand
to
now. So how did they
yeah.
find out who you were? Did you ever find out?
I actually didn't. No, I think they followed like obviously I've gone on back onto the TV castings Instagram and they follow like a friend of a friend or something like a name I might recognise. I don't know if they just scroll, follow, send a general message. I don't really know, but yeah, they just found me on Instagram.
And what was the message they sent you?
I think it was like, "Hi Lauren, we've got an exciting dating new show. Would you be interested in sending more information? It's something got a whole new concept." And I was like, "Okay." So I sent that, and then Jack rang me, and he was like, "Yeah, so it's like a naked dating show." I was like, "Okay." And then I was just kind of like going along with it, and I was approached for Love Island as well, but I think I got approached for Dating Naked in November, start of December, and one of the people from Love Island had messaged me in November as well, but he said, I won't put you forward until March because otherwise you'll just get lost in the mess. Like there's so many people that apply. So he was like, just go along with Dating Naked, see how you find it, see how you find the casting process. Like if it's not for you, it's not for you. And then I just did the casting process and I was like, I actually love this. I love the idea of it. I love the concept of it, like stripping back everything, like getting rid of all the materialistic things, everything, and just laying it bare and just getting to know someone for them and who they are as a person rather than like what designer stuff they have or like the life they live. I don't care for it. So yeah, I just thought it's a completely new concept and I was there for it.
So how did you find the first time they said to you in the casting, right, Lauren, we need to meet you in person now. We've done the Zooms, we've done your application form. Right, take your kit off, get naked.
Yeah, I was absolutely petrified. I actually had to do a naked Zoom. That was the first thing I had to do. And in the naked Zoom, I was in the salon that I work at, and they're like, "Okay, so for this Zoom, like, we actually need you to take your clothes off." And I was like, "Oh," I was like, "Okay." And then I remember I literally went into one of the treatment rooms. I was like, "Girls, just do not come in. Whatever you do not let any clients come in." And I remember just sat there thinking, like, on the Zoom call, they were talking to me, and it's literally going like in one ear, out the other. I was like, am I actually going to do this? Like, is this can't be for real? Like, surely this is like some sort of practical joke. And then I did it, and I was like, actually, it wasn't that bad. Like, it really wasn't. And I don't know if it's because the people that I was speaking to, I'd obviously been spoken to, like, you have like 5 Zoom calls before it even gets to that point. So I don't know if I was just like really comfortable with them and stuff like that. But then you fly out to Colombia, and then you do a couple of days of filming before you then do your naked entrance, and then it's another couple of days before you actually go into the villa. And I remember the first time that I was actually on set was completely different because obviously in the treatment room, it was just me and then the 2 people on my Zoom call. There's no one else in the room. Whereas in Colombia, it was literally like 3 cameramen, a producer, another person, like welfare team, like runners. There were literally so many people around me. I was like, this is weird. Like, if I've ever been naked before, it's probably just been me and a partner in a room. So it to me was it was so weird, and I just got a bit Beyonce, and I was like, right, I've got this, I've got this. I was like, I'm comfortable. I know I'm comfortable. This is why I'm doing it. Like, I'm comfortable in my own skin now. It's a big push for me, like a whole new experience. And then I did it the first time, and I was like, what was I worried about? Like, what was I actually worried about? I think the first couple of days, a couple of the boys had to like sneak off for like 5 minutes and have their 5 minutes. But after the first couple of days, I think they were literally just like, you've seen it all. That's all you've seen. You don't need to see like it's not you like you're staring at someone's bits the whole time. Like when you go and meet someone that's clothed, you're not constantly staring at what they're wearing. You end up having a conversation to their face, like face to face. So I think it's the same as when you're naked. Like you just end up having a conversation face to face. Like you've seen their bits. It is what it is. It's just a naked body at the end of the day. It's just skin, and then you just get to know them as an actual person. And I think by doing that, you form a lot deeper connections because you're not focused on like I don't know, the clothes or anything like to do like no like distractions. It's just them as a person. And I think that's so like refreshing.
But does that change though when you're going on dates? Because the whole idea of dates and going back to what you were saying earlier on about having that bit of money, when you go on a
Yeah.
date and you dress up and you wear your best clothes and you're wearing the brands and everything like that, that's a version of you that you're putting out there, but also it's almost like armor. you know, you're going into a
Yeah.
battle when you're like, right, I've got everything on, I've got the perfume on, I know I look hot. When
Yeah.
you haven't got that and it's just you naked and it's all just out there, how does that change your mindset? Because yes, you're right, on a deeper level, you've got to get to know them a bit more, but also it's that thing of,
Yeah.
I'm so bare and vulnerable now that
Yeah.
I can't hide behind anything. And is that
I
okay?
would massively. Yeah. I literally, if I'm going out anywhere, anyone that knows me, if I'm at home, I don't ever really wear makeup or anything like that. But if I'm going out, especially for dates or anything like that, I'm just like, right, full face of makeup, hair done, nice outfit, nice shoes, nice accessories, like the whole shebang. And that's what makes me feel good. And that's when I'm like, right, I'm ready now, let's go for the date. But like when you don't have any of that, you do feel so much more vulnerable. But then I think you just have to then trust in that person. I think that's where like the deeper connections comes, because you are so vulnerable, and like you just have to put your trust in that person. And I feel like it is very, very hard, like stripping all of that bare. It's so difficult. But once you push past that barrier and you actually start to get to know someone, it changes everything. And I honestly would recommend it. Not that everyone can do it, but I would recommend it to anyone, like to do a show like this if it ever comes up.
But
It
does
was
it
so
change the way that
good.
you look at nudity now? Like, do you notice at times, because obviously all your friends and family have now seen you naked. So,
Mm.
is it a fact of like in everyday life that you notice that you don't necessarily care about wearing clothes, that you can just walk around the house naked now, and you know if someone sees something, it's not on quick, you know, hide. It's like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Like it's fine. I feel like with my friends, I've always been very open. We always get dressed in the same rooms, like get changed for nights out in the same room. Like we don't really care. But my family at home, like it was just a house of girls, like for the last like 6 years. And even at home, I'd be like, "Where's my towel? Where's my towel?" Someone's like, my mum knocks. I'm like, "Mum, no, I'm naked. Like, don't come in the room." Like, but now I'm just like, "Yeah, like, what do you want? Like, we're all girls. We all have like." I just don't get the stigma. Like, it's just a body. Like, it's just a body. And I think so many people thought the show was going to be so superficial and have like these perfect bodies and everything like that. But even for me, seeing curvier girls, like skinnier girls, like I have very similar body type to me and my friends, whereas like I don't often see like curvier girls or like what they're like naked. So it gives me like an appreciation for like their bodies too. Like it is very like it opens your mind a lot more, I think, as well. The girls like got into much deeper conversations, like I think we got to that place like where you feel comfortable with someone. I think it takes someone a while to build up that trust and build that relationship with someone to feel like you can then open up and you're not going to get judged on it. Whereas I think because you literally are stripped back and someone's like, I need to get to know you, like you as a person, then I think, yeah, it definitely like you haven't got anything to protect yourself. Like you said, you're just smashing through that armor. So I think when you do that, I think us girls even had like really, really deep conversations that probably you would only have with a partner once you've known them for a very long time or something like that. Like, or been like friends with someone for a very, very long time. Whereas I think within like 2, 3 days, I literally knew everything about those girls, like everything. So it was like really nice actually. Yeah.
And how do you think you changed as a person from those conversations that you had? What do you think you learnt about yourself being so bare?
Yeah, I'm a lot more like open as a person, and like I feel like I don't really know how to explain it, but like I feel like I haven't really changed that much. Like I am who I am and I can't be anyone else. I just think to be more open-minded. I think when I read back some of the comments, like luckily, thankfully, I haven't had any hateful comments, but seeing some of the comments on the things like what's wrong with this generation, and I just think you're so shallow and so narrow-minded. Like just relax a little bit more. Like it's not that deep. Like just to be more open-minded as a person and just not as judgmental and accepting, and like everyone is who they is and they have like a lot of like reasons for doing these sorts of programs, or like it's not just superficial like money, rich, fame, like sex, like whatever. I think people genuinely do had genuine reasons why they're actually on there. Like they actually wanted to meet someone, and we actually wanted to like increase, like expand our life experiences. And there's a lot of reasons why people did it. I think you just have to be more open-minded when you realize that.
Well, I think what's nice is everyone obviously wants to go on Love Island, and what I think is nice about a show like this is it gives you the opportunity to have that experience, to have that TV exposure. But you can't do a show like that just for the fame, because you can't get celebs signing up to Naked Attraction, and you can't get a load of Love Islanders to do that. And so, if you're going
Yeah.
to do a show like this, it has to be for the right reasons.
Yeah, 100%. I think as well the fact with Love Island, like loads of people do go on it to become like influencers, because you get instant loads of followers, you get brand deals, you get collabs, you get all this XYZ. Whereas with our show, because of the naked element, we were far less likely to get any of that sort of stuff. So I think I was very, very aware that like it's not going to become an influencer thing. It's not going to be something where you're going on it for fame, money, and that sort of stuff, and to become an influencer because of the nature of the show. Like, if anything, it probably is a deterrent to most brands because they don't want to work with like naked people because again, but that's a stigma that they have. And I was like, why? Why would you not work with naked people? Like, what's wrong with that? Like, I wear clothes in my everyday life, like just because I did a naked show. But yeah, I think there was a few. I know that actually was a few people, celebrities. There was a few celebrities who wanted to sign up to Dating Naked, but they got rejected because they didn't want it to become like Love Island. They wanted it to be very much like normal everyday people. They didn't
Right,
want people
who
to
were
like
they?
influence. I think Lockie was one of them, definitely. Callum Best, he was one of them. I want to say Megan Barton Hanson contacted them, but like wasn't like 100% guaranteed. There was a couple. There was a few more. I can't remember more off the top of my head, but those are the ones that spring to mind. So yeah, there was a few celebrities that were interested in doing it as well, but I think they didn't want it to become this influencer thing, like where you go on it just for money and fame and that sort of stuff. They wanted it to be like a genuine, real connections in there.
Well, I think you were amazing on there, Lauren. I really enjoyed it. And obviously, if you've not seen the first couple of episodes, they're all on Paramount Plus. There's 10 episodes all together for the whole series. A massive thanks to Lauren Beschi there. And if you enjoyed today's episode of Security and Secure, click that subscribe button, leave a review, leave a comment, and tell me, have you been nude before? And would you do a show like that? I want to know that from you. And on Instagram, at Johnny Seifert is where you can find me at Security and Secure Podcast. On TikTok, at Johnny Seifert92. Where can people find you, Lauren?
Lauren Beschi on Instagram and TikTok.
Amazing. And if you love reality TV like I do, on Skin and Skirt, there are episodes with loads of reality stars from celebrity dating to What to Handle, Made in Chelsea, Tarry, and of course Love Island. So do go and check them out in the library. I'm Johnny Seifert. Thanks so much for watching or listening. Until next time, thank you and goodbye.